Alright guys, today we're gonna do somewhat of an educational video for you today. I just found this video a couple minutes ago and now I'm gonna share it with you. It's from an episode of Dr. Phil, and it's titled Why Dr. Phil Instructs a Staff Member to Call Animal Control on a Guest. Uh, Now let me start the video now.
Moved in with me, she slowly started bringing big plastic bins. Then it kept coming, and turned into an absolute hoarding mess.
You see this? This is a safety hazard. Alright, someone they can trip on something and hit themselves in the back of the head, anything can happen. So right now, that's a violation of safety in a household, basically. So like, if she has any guests, which I doubt she would, but if she had one, and they got hurt because of all these items in here, that person can sue her and him because they're the homeowners. Keep that in mind.
I do not consider myself a hoarder. I just want to protect my stuff. I don't.
When someone is addicted to something, the first sign that they're addicted is that they're going to deny their addiction, but they're gonna keep doing what you're pointing out. It's almost like drugs or alcohol. You say you're addicted to alcohol, and the person says, I'm not addicted, I just drink a lot. And he keeps drinking, he keeps the same pattern or worse. That's the first sign that they're in denial. They need help.
Feel there's boundaries that are respected.
I also believe she's hoarding animals.
Laura has about 53 animals living in our
53 animals. Alright, just keep that in mind. 53 animals for something.
house. 5 dogs,
4 cats, 2 bunnies.
Here are the rabbits inside the house.
2 snakes, 3 tubs of mice.
This one has baby mice in it.
She also has a sheep and a fish.
That's
Alright, you see the sheep, right? Alright, so a sheep, according to this, they require at least 16 square feet or 25 square feet to, in size to keep them in captivity. My room is 11 by 10 tall, 11 feet by 10 feet, which equals to around 121 square feet. Now, keeping that in mind, let me show you. In a perfect world, she would be 5 foot a square with each side 5 feet. Alright, there's 5 feet. So a square that equals 5 feet equals to 25 square feet. Alright. Now that's a violation. Alright. First, well, sheep don't actually require as much space. For example, you could raise 10 sheep in 1 acre. Alright, it doesn't require that much. But to keep it in captivity, you need at least 25 square feet. Alright, in a perfect world, it would be a square with each side 5 foot long. Alright, in length. Keep that in mind. Let's continue.
less animals than we've ever had before. I don't understand why Jesse and John think that all these pets are a problem.
We have 2 full-grown huskies outside.
Less than 10-foot cord.
It's hot and they always look sad. It's just disgusting.
Alright. She has 2 full-grown huskies. Now, let me see here. Let me show you. Let's go to Zillow.com. Alright. Let's go to Zillow.com. Why is this? For example, my house, we have two small dogs, alright? So they're pretty good when it comes to space. We do not have a lot of items in the house, and they have their own little room. Their own little room, alright? Let this process. Yeah, continuous master. Alright. So let me type New Britain. New Britain, Connecticut. That's where I live, this town. So in an average house, like this one over here, alright, you could only house one husky. Keep that in mind, one husky in this house. Alright, this is a small house, this is an average house. Now let's say, well, this is a little bit lower than average. So now let's look for more expensive house. Alright, like around 500,000. Let's see. How to run this? Let's see. Oh, let me put price, because most people go for either 300,000, 500,000, and they pay it, prolong it. This house, my stepdad bought it for around 400,000. So let's go for 400,000. All right, he's still paying for mortgage. Keep that in mind. You get a loan from the bank and stuff like that. So these are pretty good houses in the brain, all around the brain. For example, this house looks similar to mine. Well, doesn't look similar, but it looks around the same, shorter in length over here. Shorter in length. It's taller than my house, that's for sure. And width, I cannot see the width. But this house, you could only house two huskies. Now compare this house to the last house we saw. That's a problem, because her house must be the same size as the first house we looked at. Must be like this house, or a little smaller or similar in size. Alright. Now here's another problem. She keeps them outside, not inside. If you own a dog, you better make sure you have space indoors as well to house the dogs from the elements. Alright. In operating with it might be different from somewhere like California and stuff like that. But it's basically the same thing, because your dog could die from a heat wave, basically. Especially in places like California and Texas, when where the climate is a lot hotter here than Ukraine. Over here, we don't have the dogs outside. Now my dogs are small. I got two of them. They have their own little room. They're not as big as this room, but I would say it's a lot larger than 90 square footage or a room. The room is bigger than 90 squares. All right, 90 square feet. So they live comfortably. All right, they have their own heater. All right, they have their own heater. They have their own fan. It's a ceiling fan, but it keeps them good. Their food supply is good. All right, but compared to a husky, if we had a husky, we'll be spending a shit ton of money a month for the husky, because those two dogs will package. If we go to the store, a package of dog food be $40. All right, $40 for dog food. Now I feed them twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon. In the morning, like from 7:30 to 8, and on the afternoon at 3:30, between 3 or 3:30. And yeah, they live comfortably. Now a husky eats a lot more food than those two little dogs I have. So I don't know if she's able to feed the small dogs that she has and those two big dogs. Because remember, she has two huskies. Alright, I feel like if I had a husky right now, I'll be spending $80 on the store a month just to buy the dog food. Probably even more because these dogs eat a lot more food than smaller dogs. Same thing with a German Shepherd, same thing with a big pit bull. Alright, you need to have enough food to sustain them and enough water to sustain them. From what we see in the video, I don't see a tray with water in it. I don't see anything with water in it to keep them hydrated
Huskies
throughout the
outside,
day.
Less than 10-foot cord.
it's hot and they always
Also, we have a big backyard and we let the dogs outside. Then when they get tired, they just go inside. But we always have the door open, the back door open for them to go in and out, in and out. She keeps them on a leash. I don't know if she keeps them on a leash all day long, but that's bad for the dogs. Alright, that's bad if she keeps them on a leash all day long and they're unable to move because an animal needs to be able to move around. Alright, I don't know how long she has them, but she has them for more than a year or so. These dogs will have effects on them now because if you don't move for a while, you lose a lot of muscle mass. And as you can see here, the dogs are
look
just
sad.
laying around and
It's
stuff
just
like that,
disgusting.
and the dogs are unhappy, which is another thing. So already you can see a problem. The snakes that she has, I don't know if she took out the fangs. I don't know if they're venomous snakes and unvenomous snakes, but you have to keep them supplied with food anyways, like rats and stuff, mice, mouse, rats, anything to sustain them. Where is she getting the food? I don't know. Oh, I know she has a little container with mice, so she might be feeding the snake those. Because remember, critters like those, they actually reproduce really quickly. But who knows? Um, he has rabbits, and it's all a safety hazard for anyone visiting there, for the homeowners, and for the animals. For the animals.
2 weeks ago, I believe that John made a call to animal control. An investigator came out and she said everything was fine.
That's another problem I have. How can an investigator come in and say everything's fine? That pisses me off. That's just, no, he's just taking money. Whoever the investigator was, just taking money and getting out, and not even doing their job. Alright? It's like saying, alright, I built you a house, but it does not have a foundation and does not have a basement. Because here in the northeastern, basically up north, the states up north, you need to have a basement because different codes. Alright, there's a lot of different building codes. It's a lot different from, let's say, California or Florida. The building codes are different. So we over here up north, we need basements due to frost lines and stuff like that. It's all required. So it's like me saying I build you a house, an entire house that does not have a basement. If we live in New Britain, that's a problem. Same thing here. How can an investigator come in there and say that everything's fine when it's not fine?
Has two miniature pinchers
And
and a
how did
French
that dog
bulldog
get injured?
that just completely run the house. Laura hoards
How did the
the
dog get
weirdest
injured?
things like newspapers, bags of clothes. She probably has baby clothes still from her 28.
Newspapers, I have a shit ton in a box. Alright? That's for dogs to do their business. But she's not using that for dogs to do their business. Alright?
Year-old daughter. It's not healthy for the animals. It's not healthy
Exactly.
for my
She
dad.
keeps.
It's not healthy for me, my sister, and it's especially not healthy for my child.
She has a baby.
Did
She has a baby. That's even worse. All right. Now, according to zoological codes, all right, to keep an animal in captivity, you need to trick it in captivity. For example, a lion requires around 5 acres of land. So now, here's the thing. Um, if any less, the animal becomes more aggressive. All right, they begin to be more irritated. So imagine that little girl approaching the huskies. All right, those huskies are probably already irritated with the conditions they're living in, and a little girl's just bothering them. Basically, she wants to play, but they don't want to play because they live, they live in a shithole. And she's a nuisance. Therefore, those huskies are going to attack. All right. Now, domestic animals are different from wild animals, but remember, um, a dog like a husky, or you know, every animal has a wild side, basically. And if you irritate the animal, or have it in, in bad captivity, you will have a wild animal. Let me tell you right now, if you have an animal, a pet, and it's living in a shithole, you will get what's coming. Trust me. No need for animal control there. If you irritate the animal that's living in a shithole, you will get what you get.
Did you call animal control?
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm going to.
I did.
I'm going to call.
They don't live like that. They aren't in a kennel all the time.
Anthony Haskins, where are you? Before noon today, I want animal control cold call, and I want these animals reported, those dogs that are tied up on those leashes. I want that reported today.
Good job, Dr. Phil.
And if they don't remove those dogs today, I want to know it. And I want you to call until they do. Those dogs are being abused. You can't take those dogs and tie them up on those leashes.
We don't leave them on leash. We run them every couple. She said they can be tied out. They have lots of yard. He just didn't fix the fence.
Those dogs are going to get rescued. You ought to be ashamed of yourself tying those dogs up like that.
He said he was going to fix the fence for 3 years. We do not leave.
Look, the fence is not a problem. All right, the fence does not seem like a problem. It's high enough. Of course, you could get a bigger fence, but the fence seems like not the problem. The problem is the homeowner. All right, look at that. Seems that they have a reasonable backyard for these dogs to run around, but she keeps them on a leash that's less than 10 feet. Less than 10 feet. All right. So I told you that my room is 10 feet by 11 feet. From here to this wall over here is around 10 feet. And their leashes are less than 10 feet. That's a problem.
Angelina and I take care of them every day.
You should be ashamed of yourself tying those dogs up like that.
You brought them home
It's
and
easy
we were watching them too.
If I was able to manipulate the situation to make it look like, what I wanted it to be, then sure, then those would all look good and everything.
And it pisses me off because I know there's a lot more homeowners like that have their animals living in a shithole. And it's not right. It's not right at all. Right? So if you know anybody that does this kind of stuff, call animal control in a heartbeat, because trust me, they're not keeping their animals in good shape. Basically, their animals are dying because these huskies, man. Just think about it. Like, think about how much space we need. All right, look at this room, 11 feet by 10 feet. All right, I live comfortable. all right, in this room. All right, I'm comfortable in this. Now compare that to a closet, and you were told you're gonna live in this closet, or you're gonna sleep in this closet. This is your room. You will go nuts. All right, you will go nuts. And that's the same thing with these animals. All right, they can see the entire backyard and stuff like that, but they're restricted to less than 10 feet of radius. All right, that leash is probably 3 feet. So like and subscribe the video, and I hope to see you next time.